Hello humans, Master Dinnerflex here, bringing you low quality content you deserve, and today I'll be going over a very old school deck. Now you're gonna look at this and like, oh, is this a Warrior Goat deck? Nope. This takes place in the format right after Goat with the release of Warriors Triumph, the first Warrior structure deck, and so way even before this, there used to be a deck called Marauding Lock. And what it was is it was where you would use two Marauding Captains on the field to make an attack impossible. Now, they did this back in the day before they had, like, the Chaos Monsters. So that means their only out to it was Darkhole or Regeki. And since that was the case, there was only two cards. So while they were trying to get to those two cards, you could just keep on getting advantage with other warriors or just like your power spells. While at the same time you're not taking any attacks, you're dwindling down their resources and they can't get to damage you. And after Goat, they put Marauding Captain to 3 and gave us a Warriors Triumph structure deck, which came with a new card called Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, which is almost a strictly worse Giant Rat. However, since it's searchable with Rhoda, it actually is a little more consistent than Giant Rat. And in addition, since its attack is 100 lower than Marauding Captain, it means you can do the Captain lock with Creature Swap. But I'll just go ahead into it. The most powerful card in this format, Triple Cyber Dragon. The card that ended GOAT format is the card that's going to start this format, and it's literally defining everything. So one thing about this format that I should mention is the moment the Chaos Monsters got, BLS got banned, the entire Trinity got banned. Book of Moon went to 1, Tsukiyomi went to 1, Metamorphosis went to 1. Pretty much all of GOAT format either went to 1 or got banned, including stuff like Book of Moon. So, like, the time of Restrict just keeping anything at bay is gone. And, like, there's no consistent way to Terror Lock anymore. So, like, GOAT format was dead. And Cyber Dragon already did enough damage to it. But it actually ended, like, with this ban list as well. So what you're going to see here is, like, Cyber Dragon. The whole deck is just outs to Cyber Dragon if you're not Marauding Captain locking. And another thing about this format I should mention is Spirit Reaper went from a card that was sometimes played in GOAT as a 1-of to a staple 3-of in almost every deck. The only reason I do not have 3 of them in here is because I wanted to show off this deck. It didn't matter about Parshath or Exarion Universe. The fact that Spirit Reaper kept Cyber Dragon from just winning the duel was why people almost entirely maxed out on it almost all the time. And another card to keep in mind where a Spirit Reaper got better is Nock went to 1. So things were looking up for Spirit Reaper. GOAT format was completely obliterated. There's nothing left of it outside of one Magician of Faith. Like, literally, when I say like they ended GOAT format. GOAT format was gone. So yeah, Triple Cyber Dragon killed GOAT format, and this list made sure it would never come back again. And then one Jinzo is my only tribute summon in the deck. It was either this, a Monarch, or Parshath. But I felt like 24 was a good number. This format was a lot more trap heavier than GOAT format, so I felt like this would be a good choice. I haven't tested this deck very much, but it seems good in theory. And then one Breaker, it was at 1. One Magician of Faith. These are literally like the 8 staples. A tribute monster. Breaker was at 1. Magician of Faith was at 1, and it kind of sucks now because almost all the good spells are gone. The only thing you really grab back with this is Rhoda that gets you another monster. Sangan was at 1, very good. And Morphing Jar, very skillful card at this time, and just super helpful. And then Triple Marauding Captain. It just went to 3. And this is how you do the lock. If you don't know what this does for whatever reason, while it's on the field, the only warriors that can be attacked is this card. However, if you control two marauding captains, they can't attack either because you control a warrior other than this card, and the other says the same thing. So what ends up happening is you can't attack. They can only attack non-warriors, but there are 8 non-warriors in the deck, and everything else is a warrior. So they literally can't attack you. Their only out to it at this time is Smashing Ground and Dark Hole, Book of Moon. Well, that's a lot of outs. You also have a lot of floating in this deck, and a lot of trap cards too. So usually the lock will stand for like a turn or two, while at that same time you're like pushing through their resources. You're not taking any damage, and you can do the same thing like you could do before this deck with this Marauding Captain lock. And then this card, its effect is Giant Rat, except it only summons warriors, which in theory is a strictly worse Giant Rat. However, its stats being lower than Giant Rat is super helpful with creature swap, and because it's a rota target, it makes Marauding Captain lock super consistent. It's a floater, not a lot of ways. If you just set a card, their only answer to it is the one of knock, and if they don't do that, they have to attack into it. You can also proactively crash your stuff into it. Like if you Marauding Captain this out, and special summon this, you can just attack into their guy, summon Marauding Captain. And another thing you can do is these 2 warriors, DD Warrior and Exiled Force, are also summonable off this card. DD Warrior is a non-optional DD Warrior lady that you can summon off this. So if it attacks at all, it has to banish the card it attacked and itself. Well, Warrior Lady can just attack over stuff and decide not to. And then Exiled Force is insane. Like, since you have priority, you can distribute this the first thing that happens. They can't trap hole you. They can't torrential you. So you always get rid of this thing you want to very quick. And yeah, just like with Call of the Haunted, Premature Burial, very, very strong card. Another out to Cyber Dragon as well. DD Assailant, this went to 1. I believe it went to 1. But this card, it's a DD Warrior Lady that has to be destroyed by battle to trigger. And then DD Warrior Lady, the one I've been comparing everything to. And then Dawn's Alug, if this wasn't a dark, this would be awesome, but it is a dark. When it inflicts battle damage, you can either mill the top 2 of your opponent's deck or discard a random card. You really just discard random cards. So yeah, that's really nice. And then finally, another warrior that's searchable with Rhoda. And this one is a normal summon out to Cyber Dragon, which is actually really good with Marauding Captain because if they overextend with Cyber Dragon and you have Marauding Captain in hand and Rhoda for next turn, you can go ahead, Rhoda this, or just have it. Normal summon Marauding Captain effects, special this, attack over their Cyber Dragon, and now they have to put 2 monsters on the field to get over your field. Like Goblin Attack Force has the chance to live while you have Marauding Captain, and if you have the Marauding Captain lock, this will be living for a while to keep putting up that 2300 threat, which is really nice. And then for spells, double Smashing Ground to out Cyber Dragon, double creature swap because you have a searchable floater. You can also give them stuff like attack position faiths or morphing jars. If you are reading, they don't have the 1 book. You can give them a whole bunch of stuff. All your monsters are pretty small anyway, so it's kind of fine in that way. Double Rhoda, your deck is nothing but warriors. Premature, Snatch Steal, Heavy Storm. Confiscation came back, and this card is dumb. I don't... Like, all 3 of those, like, hand control spells are really stupid. I don't know what they were thinking when they made them. But anyways, Nobleman across out. It's at 1. MST's at 1. Book of Moon's at 1. And they brought back Dark Hole for a format. And I think right after this format, they banned it again. Just because back in the day, Dark Hole just was too much of a tempo swing. Yeah, it punished overextension, which is a good thing. But it also could just be good if it didn't... It didn't need to be a skillful card at this time. Like when we got it back in like 2011 or 2010, I think it became a much more skillful card because there were counters to it. But back in the day, there were no counters. There were no answers to this card. You could easily lose to this, and there was nothing you could have done differently. Which is why this deck has 3 Marauding Captains, so it can rebuild a field if something goes wrong, with Dark Hole. So yeah, Dark Hole. Double Sakuretsu, Mirror Force is banned, so that's not an option anymore. Double Bottomless, out Cyber Dragon if they're trying to summon it. Call of the Haunted was at 1, Torrential Tribute's at 1, Dust Tornado's at 2, but you don't need to. And then the side deck, I figured I would do something different, and I would side into Monarchs. Double Mobius, double Zaborg, double Spirit Reaper. Like I said, this format was when Spirit Reaper really shined. Double Monet the Thorn. It's a Rhoda it's a slightly worse Gravekeeper Spy in this format because they attack into it with some normal. They take the damage because it has 18 defense, and you search another copy, which seems worse than Gravekeeper Spy. However, while you keep them in circulation, like if you tribute summon a Monarch, clear their field, and like you can fight through their stuff next turn, you can normal summon this, do battle damage again with it, and attack, and then grab back the one from the graveyard. So it's like an infinite, pseudo-infinite resource as long as you can keep doing battle damage with each one. It's a Rhoda target, so that's helpful. And Mystic Swordsman level 2 to out Spirit Reaper. If it attacks a face down, it destroys it. That's all it's used for. It's also summonable off of Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. Double Brain Control for the Monarchs. Double Trap Dust Shoot for going first. And double Solemn Judgment. I believe this was also for going first. Like, Solemn Judgment, I don't know how people went so long not realizing, hey, wait a minute, this card's stupid insane. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I don't know too much about this deck. Surprisingly, you can find so much information about GOAT format, but literally the format after is so, there's so little information about it. Like, someone had to link me the list after GOAT format just so I even knew what was going on. And, there's just this, it's weird. Like, if it's not a cherished format, it's easily forgettable. And I think that's kind of sad because there's so much we can learn, about the game now when we look at the game from back then. And I really like to preserve, history of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yep, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. And remember, Master Dinner Flax will take your soul.